Hello, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks, Ruth Allbrand, and Marketing Max. What's on the actually? Today is a special show number. I don't know if everybody caught the front end of our conversation, but today is episode 72 and has a special connotation. We're not going to surprise you, or we're not going to give you what the special correlation to the show is, but if you happen to put a comment in, Ruth maybe will private message you why show 72 is so special today. So,
Thank you.
How are you this morning, Ruth?
Well, rocking and rolling. Everything. I did my mileage about 5:18 this morning. I'm trying to get out there earlier because it's daylight earlier, and it's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. And we're having incredible weather right now. It's actually a little bit chilly in the morning.
It is.
This week. So, which is surprising because right around this week in Memorial Day here in Las Vegas, it starts turning around. And next thing you know, we're 100 degrees again. So
I know it happens overnight, doesn't
it? It definitely does. So how are the puppies doing?
We got Leslie here this morning. She's another dog lover. The puppies are... excuse the word, but they're terrorists. They're Boston terrorists. They are eating up our house. I mean, John and I said, what were we thinking when we got two dogs at the same time? Because we've never done that before. We've always had the older dog around to train the younger dog.
Right.
Now we are the older dogs training the younger dogs.
Right, exactly. If you're not careful, they become the alpha dogs.
I don't know. It's a circus around here right now. So we just try to grin and bear it, that we enjoy them and they're bringing a lot of joy to our life.
Sure.
So absolutely. It's all worth it.
Here's an interesting bit of information. I don't know. It relates to actually having same-sex children as well. But especially when you have two siblings around the same age, especially if they're same sex, they usually misbehave a little bit more because they have to compete much more to differentiate themselves and get attention. So that's the problem with having two small dogs the same age, is that they got to do more than the other to get attention. And so
you have no idea how right you are.
So you got a handful on your hands right now, but all right.
It's fun. It's fun.
So what is happening in Las Vegas from the last time we talked?
Well, I keep my eye on the iBuyer platforms, and my stats are this year so far mainly about those iBuyer platforms and how they're impacting our market. So, I'm going to do that report like I've been doing every week. The average price, or the median price home for May, has jumped up to $326,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that what's on the market, or is that selling?
That's sold.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Those are sales. Yeah. And year to date, it was 318. So for May, it has jumped.
Wow.
Yeah, May has jumped up. Already this month, we've done 4,058 transactions. So that's the good news.
That is good news.
Yeah.
So, and do you have the numbers from last month? That's total?
Last month, the total sales were 3,600.
Wow. So we've already, through the half of month of May, we've already exceeded the last month.
Yeah.
So that's good news. Okay.
That's good news. The news that I'm really concerned about is how many transactions the agents out there doing regular real estate aren't getting because of the iBuyer platforms. Mm-hmm. So in May, of the 4,058 transactions so far, the iBuyers have done at least 223 of those transactions, and they are in the top 15 producers.
Okay.
So that's a big chunk, and I'm noticing that the producers are changing right now. I told you last week, Napoli's gone down. Steve Hawks, Steve Hawks is still doing pretty good with his commission strategy, if we
Right.
call it that way.
Sure.
Yeah. So last year we did about 29,700 transactions through this date. So from January of 2018 to May 18th of 2018, we had done about 29,000 transactions. However, this year we've only done 25,000.
Okay. It's down a little bit.
Yeah. So we're down about 800 a month, I guess, something like that.
About 8% or so.
Yeah, which it's interesting. We'll see. I think we just had a slow January, February this year. That accounted for part of that. And I think the iBuyer platforms, because like in these transaction numbers, you don't see what the iBuyers are buying. You see when they put it back on the market, list it and sell it. So I think a lot of that is in those numbers as well. And I truly believe that it is impacting listing agents as I look at the numbers, and I don't want to bore everybody with, the stats, but, but it's really impacting the listings, the listing agents. It has to, of course.
Right.
So,
of course.
Anyway, but, we keep percolating along. We're continuing to see people move here. The market is alive. We have great job growth. We have our economy's just flourishing right now. So other than the numbers being off and the iBuyer platforms taking some of the business, Vegas is still doing well.
Yeah, Vegas as a whole, as a city, is doing well. I mean, everywhere I drive, we just spent some time on the Strip last weekend for Mother's Day on a Sunday. Yes. And casinos are full. The pools are full. So, I mean, it's good times again in Las Vegas. And the economy is usually good when the casinos are full. So, Vegas market definitely still probably on the rise here. Interesting couple notes here is like, I think nationally the home builders are I think the building is increasing roughly by 6% or something like this month. It was slowing nationwide.
National, okay.
National.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that actually new permits is slowing down quite a bit. So I think everybody's anticipating possibly here coming into the end of this year into middle of next year that we might have a little bit of a slower real estate market. So we'll see. That remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But everything else.
Again, I'm sure that our market hasn't changed that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that we don't see, we can't see those numbers of the sales that are taking place, the listings and sales are taking place by the iBuyer platforms. Right. We don't see all that. So I'm not so sure that our numbers are off that much when it comes to actual, home purchases and home sales.
Sure. And I think we're not quite at the frenzy yet, but I've been recently kind of looking at different possibly second homes to buy just to get out of the heat in Vegas for about a month or something like that. But you cannot find anything anywhere in the country that's desirable, like remotely desirable to live in for under 300,000 right now. Like it is I'm starting to feel that like angst, that what they call the fear of missing out feeling, right? Usually starts at the beginning of a frenzy. And I think we're about to approach it because people don't realize yet that the market for affordable housing right now, all across the country, and especially here in Las Vegas, with the medium home price being 327 now, Ruth?
Yeah, 327.
All right. Soon enough, I mean, we might hit a point where, we might get multiple bids again and drive up the price, and then we'll hopefully tailor off the price will stabilize a little bit. But it's still very hot right now. Prices aren't not going down. Even though the real estate market may be slowing and transactions may be slowing, but prices are not going down. And especially in anything under the $1 million market cost across the country.
Yeah. I was thinking while you were talking a little bit, and I wanted to say hi to Teresa and Leslie for joining us. And please give us some comments if you would like, and we will talk about those as well.
Right.
Anyway, there's some agents that are doing presentations in California, And I saw this back when right before the market crashed. We had a group, the Powerhouse Group, they called themselves the Powerhouse Team. And they went to California and did presentations to investors.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing and hearing and actually talking to some people that are doing it or in the process of doing the same thing again because of the affordability of our market. And I'm learning from a new agent that we have that Nevada has the best asset protection laws.
One of the best, yeah. Next, Delaware, Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada, for some reason, whoever I was talking to thought that they were the best. But okay, one of the two best. That's still good.
Right. Still good.
It's still good. And so the plan is to, and you may know the answer to this. So to be eligible, if you are a foreigner, to be eligible to be protected by our laws, is there an amount of the investment that you have to have in this state in order to be protected if you're a foreigner?
Like foreigner, I mean like out of the country foreigner?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know they'd answer. I'm going to give a shout out to one of probably the top estate attorney in town, Steve Oceans. Him and his father actually wrote some of the estate laws and help write them. So, if you have that question, look up Steve Ocean, send him an email.
He's my lawyer.
There you go. Right.
And he did our trust. He's
exactly right.
Most of my LLCs over the years. Yeah. I love Steve and his father. They're great.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So that would be a question for Steve.
So assuming that let's make that assumption that that's correct. So the agents are going over there and they're appealing to, the Asian markets, the Hispanic markets. And what they were saying to me is that if you have investments here around the $500,000 mark, that you are protected by our asset protection laws, even if you are not a resident. So I think that that's very clever. And we're going to see a lot of investors coming back into the market other than the hedge fund type investors.
Right.
Just because of our affordability and our growth, we're still, I think number one in population growth in the country. So I think we've got a pretty good path ahead of us for real estate. And there's some thinking outside the box that some of our agents should be doing in order to compete with the market share that they're losing with the iBuyer programs. I guess that's my bottom line, is thinking outside the box to create your own market. And I thought that was really, those are people, they're going to appeal to people that may or may not have purchased here, invested in Vegas. So anyway, I thought that was really a clever idea to try to create a niche market for that.
No, absolutely. It's just another stream of potential prospects to come in. And I mean, you and John have kind of built your entire career based off of, marketing to outside state residents to come in to buy in Vegas. So you definitely have to be much more creative and add more value in today's market. And that's what, why we do this show and why you have Agent Formula and why we have these social media academies every month to teach people how to do this. Because if you're not putting yourself out there in leveraging technology and social media, I mean, these iBuyer programs are basically going to take every piece, continue to dig into your market share. And so the casual days of being a real estate agent and then part-time is going to get harder and harder as time moves forward with everything that's happening right now.
And Redfin, who used to give referrals to agents, they've pulled back. I think we mentioned that last week. So Redfin's going direct to the buyers and bypassing the real estate agent altogether.
Right.
And in my in my research, I found that the new platform, well, it's 5 years old. It's called HomeSnap. Have you heard of HomeSnap?
No, I have not.
So HomeSnap is basically, to me, a competitor for Zillow because they have over 200 MLS boards that are feeding them listings, and you should check it out. When you go to HomeSnap, you'll see a map, and Nevada is one of the few states that aren't embracing it. And they HomeSnap just had their 5th anniversary, and they now have 1 million agents utilizing them in those 200 MLS boards.
Wow. Okay. Here's a prediction, and so today's what, May something 2019. I just went to their website. It looks exactly like Zillow's presentation, right? My big guess right now is that at one point or another they're going to be acquired.
Somebody's going to buy them.
Someone's going to buy them. It might even be Zillow.
Oh, please.
And I like the fact that Nevada is not embracing it, because guess what? They're doing the same. I mean, they're going down the same path, right? I mean, they're capturing the audience, and then leveraging our own real estate data, and eventually, when they have the data, they have the audience. Guess what? Someone from the corporate office, the bean counters are going to look at the bottom line. They're going to go, how do we maximize dollars? And they're going to conclude what Zillow has already concluded, right? We might have to compete against our own agents. So
wow. So you think they're going to do the same thing Zillow's done?
That's my prediction, because if I look at their website, it's almost like identical to the first page of Zillow. I mean,
yeah, I don't think they have any agent programs like Zillow does.
Right. Not yet, because they're going to eventually need to make money somehow, right? How do you know where's their revenue stream coming from?
Right. I guess the boards are paying them. The MLSs are paying them to display. Okay. But you know, they now have 5 years of data, just like Zillow has 12 years of data.
Right. So I mean, it's likely, we'll see. It'll play out, right? But a lot of these companies, there's actually I forgot the name of the company in Europe, but basically in Europe, there's a company out there, a group of tech guys who basically take what's the most popular thing in America, right? Like Groupon, for instance. They did a European version of Groupon in the hopes with the exit strategy that Groupon will eventually buy them out. And that's exactly what they did. You know, that's the exit strategy. They duplicate everything what a bigger company is doing that's successful in the US across, you know, in the European Union, and hoping that when, you know, that successful company in the US gets big enough and has enough cash flow or whatever to make an offer to enter the European market. Homescape looks like it's kind of doing the same thing.
Homescape or HomeSnap?
Or HomeSnap, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, there's technology doesn't change so slowly, but our industry in the past has been slower to embrace technology than other industries. So I think, however, that technology is going to speed up and things are going to change. I think they're changing faster than perhaps agents thought. I mean, when you see these iBuyer platforms, you know, doubling and tripling their business from one year to the next, that has got to be an indicator. And to segue a little bit into social media, and I told an agent the other day that there's 13,000 agents right now in the MLS. And I predict in the next 3 years, it'll go down to 5,000. And
wow.
The people who are going to, that do any business right now, I mean, of the 13,000, it's interesting. Let me get my stats real quick once more. Well, I already know it. I think the top 30 agents do 87% of the business.
Yeah, that's the top 10% make a living.
That's that's 87%. The top 30 do most of the listings. Mm-hmm. I mean, do most of the volume. Do most of the volume.
Volume, correct.
Yeah, most of the volume. So they're making the most money. I mean, 30 out of 13,000.
Right.
So anyway, John's got
They're the kids in the back.
the dogs. So to that point, Facebook is changing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that fair housing is now involved with putting in their guidelines. HUD. I mean, you have
Sure.
it used to be a lot easier to reach any demographic that you wanted to, and now they've taken a lot of things. If you're a real estate agent, there are certain demographics you can't reach anymore, and okay, it's not the end of the world, though. You know, even because when I look back, most people weren't embracing Facebook ads anyway. Back when it was easier to do it,
Right.
and one of the things that we've done is have a strategy for people. And without a strategy for being on Facebook and throwing a few bucks here for a boost or a few bucks here for an ad, that's not going to cut it. You have to have a strategy. And of course, right now, if you are doing any type of video, that's your best, going to get your best views and your best in most people's feeds, because that's Facebook's algorithm is video.
Right.
So, you know, in our class, we are all about the tactics and putting the tactics together to create a strategy. And the video strategy has always been where we end up on the last day of the class. We give the agents a short video to actually get in front of people, and it actually works.
Wow.
Because, well, Facebook says, if you have an ad with a video in it, we're going to show your ad before we show other people's.
Sure.
And we're going to put you in front of more people. So, and it's been working for me. I've been tracking it daily since July of 2017. And I have almost 2 years of data now to prove that what I'm saying is true. And the agents who do that strategy are finding that they are getting bona fide leads and doing business.
Sure.
So you have to do video. You have to get out of your own way. You have to embrace it. You know, Pinky and Katie this week both had in their Facebook episodes. Katie does episodes like we do. You know, she was saying, you've got to do video. You've got to be consistent. You just can't throw things out there and expect Facebook's algorithm to embrace you, basically.
Right.
And that's absolutely 100% correct. So you have to be consistent, and you should have a daily show, a weekly show, whatever you can do, but it has to be consistent, and you have to be in front of
it just needs to be scheduled, right? And that's why if you look at regular television, which obviously no one watches anymore for the most part, but at least we all know at one point at 10 p.m. The Tonight Show comes on NBC, right? So I mean, it's just that consistency, and from an efficiency standpoint in our brain, we like to know that there's rhythm, there's structure, and so that we don't have to think about things. And that's why, and that's the algorithm that Facebook uses and all these other social media platforms are built on that as well. And so you're training your audience to expect something at a certain time, and they'll tune in. Yes. Right. If not, then if you're just randomly posting random times and random events, they got to be on right at that moment in order to consume your content. Yeah. And that actually creates at a deeper level, as I'm talking about, a certain amount of stress. Yes. Right. And that's if they start associating stress with your content, then guess what? They're not going to watch your content.
Well, one of the reasons why in the redesign of our building and doing the training center there, and we are having a video production studio just for that reason, to get and teach agents how to do video, give them scripts. I've got tons of scripts I've been writing, and I've been showing people videos of my scripts.
Sure.
Sure. Like rent versus buy, why Vegas is great with the no taxes and things like that. And it works.
Yeah, and absolutely.
The people who embrace it and who learn it and get consistent and have a strategy, those are going to be part of the 5,000.
Yep.
It's just, and of the 5,000, it'll be interesting to see what percentage of the 5,000 do the majority or 80% of the business. Right now it's 87%. So yeah, there's just a road ahead that's going to be very, very interesting.
It is going to be very interesting, and things are going to change again. All right, in a couple of years, 2-3 years, at one point or another, everybody, regardless of how slow an industry, starts to embrace new technology, new ways of doing things, the real estate industry eventually will embrace this whole online marketing video thing. And that's why it's still such a great time to do this, because not very many people are doing it very well. The people that are doing it well are just crushing it. I mean, I look at Ivan Scher and how consistently he's been in that particular niche and marketplace, right? Like I even took him off my priority, because I put him on my priority like view first. And now I took him off, and he still appears because he's so consistent with his content. And obviously, for some reason, Facebook knows that I either linger on his post a little bit more to check or click on his pictures and stuff like that. But it displays on my feed.
Yes.
Right? So kudos to Ivan and his team over there in just embracing technology and the social media platform to get to stay on top of the game where he is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
No accident, people.
No, it's no accident. Exactly. And he's in the top 4 of production.
Right.
Yeah. And he stays there. He stays in the top 4.
Right. No. and there's a reason why. Obviously he's built a great legacy here in Vegas, but he has not sat around and just depended on his name. He's actually still pushing so aggressively out there and constantly innovating. He was very, very consistent, not only in the quality of his pictures and his content, but also, he was consistent for a brief period of time using the drone footage, right? He was one of the very first, hats off to him. He embraced a lot of things that were a first, or at least, and did it consistently enough so that it captured, obviously, mind share in my own mind to say, like, dude, this guy, did something really innovative that now is a common thing, in real estate.
Yes, he did. Yeah. So that about wraps it up for me today.
Right.
We had a guest that couldn't show up. Hopefully I can get him on a show maybe sometime this week, because I had lots of questions for him.
Yeah. Awesome.
It'll be a surprise. Anyway, it's
when's the next social media marketing?
Pardon me?
When's the next academy?
I'm so happy that you asked me that question, because I happen to have it prepared. June 5th, 6th, 7th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Tycor Title. Call Siri. Yes, Siri is our customer service representative, and her number is 702-990-0480. And we look forward to the class is filling up. So please get signed up and don't be left behind with what's going on. And we'll be reviewing a lot of the new things that are happening and giving you new ways and giving you tactics and strategies so that you can be in real estate for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and beyond.
And beyond, right.
And one thing I know about Ruth is, like Ivan Scher, she's always pushing the edge of finding out what's new, what's happening, and how to get better at being a better real estate agent. So, I mean, that's why, really, no one, I don't know anyone else really consistently in Vegas that does a show, a podcast, or anything like that talking about this stuff yet. And so,
right. So we're still there. We're still on top.
Still there. We're still on top. All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Yes. Great. And I'm going to end the broadcast and